Jason Straw.
I think he left.
Oh, all right. Julie.
Oh, God. So I wasn't really planning to speak at all, but since I was already fired, I'm not at risk for being fired, which is good. So I feel like I have a little more liberty and like insight to what the worker owners are going through. I think it's really disingenuous to say that the board wasn't aware of any concerns that the worker owners had. We've been asking for pay transparency for over a year, and I've witnessed many instances where, you know, well, we need a general manager. Who should we fire? That stuff comes up, and I don't want to go into specifics or name names or people, but just in my case, I did meet with a lawyer just as like a consultation, not that I would ever dream of, you know, suing the co-op or anything, but I experienced several violations of federal labor laws just in the co-op's dealings with me personally. So that's why the worker owners need a union. It's not because they haven't tried to work things out peacefully. And, you know, like I said, I don't want to go through and air the dirty laundry. And I think that the worker owners have done a really good job of keeping it classy and taking the high road. And, you know, yes, they use the word demand, but that's the word that you use in an instance. They've asked for certain things before and were met with lots of resistance. So I'm really proud of them, and I'm happy with my life now. You know, and I'm glad that what happened with me, you know, helped spark this coming up. You know, it would be just boring if I found a different job, you know. But I know that the people that are on the board and in management, I know they mean well. I know I've known them for years. I know they mean well, and that their hearts are in the wrong place. But the co-ops also knew.
It's just a joke. Okay, James. I don't know. Oh, James. That
Just
one.
James, I like cool hat James.
Sorry. I know your name. I know you.
So there seem to be several kind of questions about like why the worker owners would need a union if they were in fact worker owners and all that. I just wanted to bring up like a couple examples of possibilities. Like right now, by our bylaws, by the way this whole thing's set up, there's nothing to keep a worker owner here, pay from being changed, terminated without any type of notice or reason, you know, hours messed with, any type of you know, the horrible practices that go on at other businesses. I'm not saying that's standard practice here at all, but I am saying there is nothing to stop that from happening the way our bylaws are written now. They don't have rights to whatever, they don't get a grievance procedure that's enforceable. And what is in the bylaws can be changed with a simple vote by the board of directors. So it's not anything that's in there and enforceable and long-term that we know can take place, or that we know like isn't gonna go anywhere. And, you know, I've heard several times that like they didn't know there was any problems. But, I mean, like the two managers or most senior people there were just fired. There's gotta have been some idea there was problems going on. They, I forget your name, brother. Lucian. The statement he made when he got here, you know, the first thing out was an apology, and I think it was a fine apology, and I appreciate hearing you say that. But what he had said there, that the workers owners were, you know, a privilege and not a right, that they could, you know, their representation could be taken away, that was just an experiment, they didn't like the way that experiment was going, they could change it. That came from the board of directors. Like we have to have something that's there and enforceable to know that what we believe in as this co-op isn't gonna change in a heartbeat, even if it's trying to make things better, even if it's, you know, making sure we gotta struggle through this next couple of months, because like the brother said over there, if this is just a store, what the hell are we doing? You know, so I think it is really important. I don't think it has to be adversarial. I think this can solidify and set in stone the ideals that we all kind of stand for.
That statement came from me, not from you.
It was a
But you're on the board. Only 3 more people. So we're almost done. Chevanese friend.
Yeah, hi, I'm Lori. And James kind of addressed some of what I wanted to say, which was just addressing the comment or the remark that Lucian had made to the worker owners, which I think it's great that you apologize, but I think it's a bigger problem in the consciousness, that's the owning class consciousness, that needs to be like, it's a bigger societal problem, and the board itself is a hierarchical structure. So I think just the fact that that would slip out, you know, is a symptom of what's going on in our society and why the workers would not feel safe standing up and speaking out. Because there's some consciousness that needs to shift for people to feel safe and not feel like, I don't know, I think it's oppressive, basically. It's an oppressive way to speak to people, and it's harmful, and it scares me. So I'm really excited that the workers stood up.
Mama Trish.
Okay, first of all, what was it? Oh, the minutes, there's probably an app for that. So you could probably just have something sitting on the table, it would transcribe it for you. So I don't know for certain, but I guess there is one. Secondly, the word demands was used as an indicative word. I bet if you do a search, union D, the first thing that comes up is union demands, because anytime that's the word they use to talk about what it is they need to continue in this manner. It's not a temper tantrum, it's not a bad attitude, and I don't think you guys should be offended by that, because that, like, I listened to it and it didn't even, I guess, I am involved in union stuff, so I'm used to it, but yeah, that's not an offensive term. Second of all, Rob, owners get no say in unions. If so, it wouldn't be a union, it would be another arm of management. So it's not, that's not something that, I mean, that's not what a union is. I don't think the owners get to say stuff, you know, have says in them forming a union. And the word, I was really offended by the word, and I've heard it a couple of times tonight, but the word transition to refer to very uncool firings of people who have donated time over and above what they were getting paid for, and have put together festivals, and have put together art walk stuff, and have put together markets, and have done all kinds of PR and marketing and Facebook stuff outside of what they were getting paid for. And I was really offended that you would call them being fired, not, I mean, even just the word is offensive to me. They were fired, and I think that's a huge problem, and I think that's, is that me? Okay.
So Emily's the last one, and then two other people had raised their hand. I was wondering if y'all mind if they go, because they forgot.
We agreed to stop it at the 15, that's what
Okay.
everyone agreed to. If you want to submit a question
We
card.
could actually have another vote to decide if we want to accept those
There's
two.
only two.
Like, hands, yes?
There's two. Or y'all could put a question
I
card.
just want to know if it's 31.
Put the question card, it will get responded to either at this meeting or.
And that's you too, if you back in the, if you want a question card.
Oh, yeah, any questions? My
Okay.
cards up here?
Cool. So Emily, last one.
I would like to bring up something that I haven't heard about tonight, and I don't even know if the membership knows about it. On May 1st of last year, the co-op celebrated with a retreat with the workers to establish wording to protect their rights. I do not know where that language went. I have not seen it in the bylaws or anything with this board. That was an agreement with the board that they made, that they got to go on that retreat and start drafting language to protect themselves. That was May 1st of last year.
They never gave it to us.
It
I'm
never
sorry.
got submitted to the board.
So your management didn't submit it, but your management had
No.
it. You're responding, okay.
The
Let her
owner
finish, let her
rep
finish,
never
and then we'll
responded.
respond.
Yeah. So,
We asked for it.
on the voice of cooperation, I don't think that the workers are not trying to cooperate. I think they're trying to protect themselves right now. They would love to cooperate. February 18th, actually, I'll just read it off here. First, also, people talking about pay on the board, workers have not asked for more pay. They said, we are not seeking higher pay or benefits at this time, but rather greater transparency and fairness in the workplace. We feel like citizens co-op can be enhanced Citizens Co-op Workers Union will enhance the co-op's place in Gainesville and strengthen the community. To us, it feels like the next logical step for the co-op. That's the statement that went out. On going to February, in mid-February, a mandatory meeting was called by the management between the board of directors and worker owners. At this time, the workers raised questions about the role of their worker owner representative. A voting member of the board tasked with bringing concerns of the workers to the board as stated by the bylaws. However, this representative was asked to remove themselves from portions of the most recent board meeting, after which it was revealed that finances, pay rates, and employment termination were discussed. These are key discussions that worker owners feel the representative should be present for to communicate their voice. I'm sorry, I'm nervous reading aloud. And, yeah, true, I'm gonna stop here, that's the end of it. But it's really important that we listen to their voice, and this isn't something that's new. The board had an opportunity to address these, and they didn't, in a way that took care of their workers.
Okay, I would just, that's the end of this stuff, right? So I would really like to thank everyone for what I feel has been a very orderly and pretty productive conversation. We've had a lot of great questions, and we have a lot more, which I would like to address now, which have to do with this conversation. Comment, Suzanne, Setu.
Okay, I guess my background is I was a manager of a food co-op in the 80s, and it was a dream of mine to see that happen here again in Gainesville after being here a long time and not having a co-op. And like you, it's really emotional for me. And I've seen every employee that leaves this place leave in a disheartening and disappointed way, and there's something shameful about the way it's happening. And I don't know if it's the hierarchical structure or what really is going on, but I have never seen a sense of appreciation, which I feel for all of you. I know you're working really hard, but I also see the worker employees working really hard, and I've tried to work with them, doing massage with them, whatever I can to support them. But I don't feel like they're getting respected, and when they come back to you with demand, I think it's because they've been threatened. And you acknowledged with your apology that your tone was off. And I think the tone of the board has been off for a long time for people to not want to come back to this store, which they've invested their dreams, their finances, asking their friends to be part of. And that needs to be really addressed. I know that this was an important thing for you, Gretchen. You've worked on it so hard. You've built on this. We've been behind you as much as we can. But there is something that is, I can get into it too. It's hard not to get hard-assed with people when you're desperate because the finances are scary and everything is chaotic. But I trust that these workers have done their best to try to help this place survive and thrive. And I don't feel like they're getting that kind of appreciation from either management or the community. And that's what we're really trying to do, is build community here. I mean, I've asked people over and over again, answer the phone with your name so people know who you are and feel connected to the store. It takes a long time for these habits to change, but that's the kind of stuff that needs to happen. And it needs to be happening now, not next week or the next board meeting, because you're worried that the finances aren't going to hold up for another 3 weeks. You know, it's got to change now. And if they feel supported by having a union, what's the big threat? We'll figure it out legally. It's not what we need to be looking at. We need to look at how are they not going to feel, I don't know if I want to go there anymore. Because they're the heart of what everyone coming into the store sees. They see you once in a while in a newsletter or whatever, but I'm real, you know, the funniest little thing that I'm excited about is I went in the bathroom after saying to somebody, what happened to that picture of James? He was like this great guy that started this co-op, and it's gone. Why is there no honoring lineage of the people that have helped build this place?
Gretchen, are we doing 2-minute time?